What's going on? What's going on? Trying to figure out this live stream thing here. If y'all want to hold tight for a second. I'll be walking through a new shot from Yosemite. Give me just a sec, trying to figure out what's actually going on here. Not sure why this isn't working. Mm-hmm. Bear with me, guys. I apologize. Just trying to figure this out. It's my first time trying to see if this works. I don't know if y'all are out there or not, but yeah, try to give this a go. Trying to see if this works. Trying to figure this out. It's my first time trying to give this a go. Trying to see if this works. Give me a sec. Bear with me, guys. Let me know if anybody's there. What's up? What's up? What's up? Going through a live photo edit tonight. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Going to be editing this picture here from Yosemite from my recent. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Yeah, we in there. Drop a comment if you can hear. Trying to. This is my first time going live. Yeah, giving it a go. I don't know if what's going on, Carol. I cannot see anything. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna be trying a new photo edit tonight. Trying to live stream my stuff to a few platforms. Give this a go. Be editing this picture from Yosemite. We'll get here started shortly. Just trying to make sure everything's working. If somebody could drop a comment, that'd be awesome. Make sure that I know everything's working. Oh, Mr. Guy Williams has entered the chat. Let me know if you can hear me, dude. Hell yeah. Awesome. Appreciate you, dog. You the man. I don't know what kind of delay there is from when you actually send the comment to when I can actually see it. Clear as day. Sweet, dude. Sweet. Wow. This is it's a good first try, I guess. So not sure who's out there, but we're just gonna start doing this. I'm gonna give it a go. We're gonna be walking through this Yosemite photo from my last trip from Yosemite back in June. Um, yeah, we saw sunrise here. My dad and I. It was our first father son trip, and it was glowing that morning, and it was hard to show me how to edit. I'm getting there, man. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be just walking through this, and yeah, we'll don't really have a rhyme or reason of how I'm gonna edit this yet, but we'll get there, and it's all part of the journey. So I always just kind of try to this a new adaptive color profile. Um, I kind of like it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I just pop over to Adobe Landscape and um, see how that works. How long you been working in Lightroom, bro? uh, I couldn't even tell you. I've been I've been working with Photoshop. I know that since 2004, 2005. I got into Photoshop in cars. Um, yeah, I just always wanted to like do cool imports or do funny looking cars, man. I mean, I was back when Photoshop CS was out there, so um, yeah, it was wild times back in the day, man. Uh, stuff has come a long way since then, but yeah, it's fun. I don't know. They've made it a lot easier to do certain things now, and uh, still doesn't can't be AI and editing photos still. I mean they can do some of the job for you, but like it can't do all the work. You still got to have a person behind the machine running that. So yeah, I'll jump in here. If you're just hopping in, appreciate y'all hanging out tonight. Just walking through a little photo edit here. It's my first time going live and editing my workflow. Shout out to Guy Williams in the chat here. This dude gave me a this awesome idea a few days ago. Yeah, if you're in the chat, share this post. Oh, this is the weird stuff that I hate doing. Invite your friends. Yeah, let's make it a party. Um, but yeah, just walking through this, I'll kind of give you my rhyme or reason why I do certain things sometimes. This little panel here, I kind of just do the same the same little things. And that's if I get an image, kind of, I can always look at the histogram here and try to get a balanced image. When I'm out in the field, taking photos. Obviously, sometimes you're kind of running and gunning. Um, but yeah, and even on this shot, like I think I actually bracketed this. So I do like even exposure, one stop over, one stop under. Sometimes I do two stops, just depending on the dynamics range that I'm trying to capture. Obviously, for this scene, it was backlit, so I think I actually might have went two stops under on this one. And that's just something I do to kind of always have a safety net in my workflow, which I don't know. I learned this years ago, and it's kind of been incorporated into my process ever since Canon did like a HDR bracketing, auto thing. So you kind of just set it up to the menu and fires off three photos for you, and you kind of get them, and you don't really have to think about it. So I love doing this, even though sometimes I really don't ever touch them. It's just a personal preference now, just part of my flow. Prefer backline or just working with what you got. To be honest, back in 2016 um, when I went to my West Coast trip, um, I got turned off about backlighting. I felt like it was at that time like the dynamic range wasn't in cameras yet, and I don't know, I struggled with it, and and back then, I mean, it was like real heavy HDR was the vibe, and now I've moved into a more, it's a little more natural um vibe that I try to create now with my edits, um but yeah, like, but yeah, during that trip, I kept struggling with backlighting because we were doing a lot of sunrise shots, and a lot of the locations we were at, um, they, I guess for sunrise it was just working, um, but yeah, it was. I'd say nowadays that I really don't. I try to not backlight as much. I think I struggle with it still, but I think I just prefer the scene to be lit. This one happens to be just an anomaly. I feel like I even got this other one that I just cooked up the other day that I was kind of turned off by it, but um, the more I played with it, I kind of got it. Or actually, it was this one. Sorry, a little more silhouette. But the more I played with it, I kind of got the colors to where I wanted, and it just had this, like, you look at this photo and it's Yosemite, that iconic, um, just silhouette of El Capitan, and we got Half Dome off in the distance there. I think it was just um, appreciate that. What's up, Eagle Master Arts? Appreciate you. Thank you. Dang, sent me a little heart. Appreciate you, man. Um, yeah. So what's up? What's up, Tyler? What's going on, man? Hope you've been well. I'm just hopping on here doing a little live edit of one of my recent photos from Yosemite. Um, yeah, I kind of got off a tangent there. The chat is fat. Yeah, this thing's horrible for my ADD. I got a horrible ADD, but yeah. So we'll try to hop in here, kind of edit it, kind of walk through my workflow sometimes, and why I edit the way that I edit. When it comes to photo editing, there's no rhyme or reason. I always thought when I first started photography that there was a specific way to edit photos, and and I think that comes from my very like technical, analytical mind. I wanted to understand. Um, how to do it, but do it to the most perfect ability. But after doing this for 16 years now, uh, I've come to realize, like, a lot of it's just, for me, it's I try to edit the way that I remember it looking, or the way that it made me feel. Um, and yeah, and so like I try to, in this one, like I kind of resurrected it a little bit and brought it back. I'm gonna try to bring it back. I think it'll have a lot of brightness and glow. You can kind of see this little gradient of colors here off in the background behind Bridal Veil Falls there. Um, no, not doing any DJing anymore. I retired back during COVID. Um, yeah, it was kind of forced me to, and I did a little live streaming, doing DJ sets and stuff. But yeah, kind of hung those ropes up, man. Got married, and couldn't be out at clubs, until 5 6 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, yeah. But yeah. So kind of hopping in here to the tone curve. If you've watched any of my recent edit videos, you kind of know, like, I mean, literally, like, I kind of do the same stuff over and over here. I just kind of crush the highlights, pull the blacks up to fade it out. Trevor, my man, what's up, dude? Trying a little something new here, man. Hope you guys like this, but um, good stuff, man. Yeah, good talking to you, dude. Hope's all well. Hope you and the family are doing well, man. Um, Holla at you. What's good? What's good? Just hopping on here, trying a little something out here, just trying to get my a little bit of my workflow. Um, I always thought there was secrets to photo editing, and I think once you kind of get past um, the gear talk of photography and camera stuff, like, that's all fun and whatnot, but it's such a small, you know puzzle to the equation. Um, I can't remember where I was going with that. Sorry. This is tough trying to read the chat, edit a photo, and just have your thoughts going. Um, I really don't even remember where I was at on that train of thought. I apologize, guys. But kind of going through here, I kind of just kind of chit chat here through some of the stuff I'm doing. Yeah, I'm looking at these oranges and stuff, and they're a little too red for me, so I'm just kind of warming those up a little bit. But yeah, yeah, if y'all got questions, as I'm editing, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm an open book. Oh, I remember where I was going with that train of thought. I'm an open book though, man, when it comes to this, because I was all self-taught. I learned from hopping on the internet and scrubbing YouTube for freaking days, man, and hours. Um, but uh, but yeah, I'm when it comes to editing, um, there's no right or wrong way to do stuff. I use Lightroom on mobile all the time, man. If I'm, editing my photos on the fly just with my iPhone, I've made a few posts about uh, my iPhone editing. Have you had to edit my photo? Oh, you gotta edit them, man. It's I don't know. Like I feel like taking a raw photo, you're just it's a raw photo. It's flat, it's milky, it's supposed to, capture the information in a raw format and, preserve as much detail as you can, and getting it in here, this is we're midway through here, and this is where I started at, and this is where I'm kind of at. Um but yeah, you gotta definitely, unless you get just like an awesome photo that just needs a little bit of punchiness and a little contrast, and a lot of that honestly depends on your personal aesthetic. Um, but yeah, I mean that's what I say. Like my style is developed or modified and changed over the years, to where I'm at now, and I would say for the last 2 or 3 years I've been comfortable with where I'm at. I feel like I can replicate it over and over. Um, I think I have just a little bit of a style, but it's hard to kind of pinpoint what actually my style is. I've always struggled with that. Um, what we got here? Is there any feature you would rather not use, or do you just I would say like, the basic tone curve color mixer. Lens correction is kind of an auto thing. Sometimes I'll get down into the calibration and color grading if I'm really trying to push it into a certain vibe or aesthetic. If I'm wanting to add a little bit of warmth, sometimes I do this just to like as far as like color correction versus like actual what people call it color grading. Sometimes, like, if I think the shadows look too cool, I'll go in and, pump just add some warmth into the shadows. And, typically that flattens it out. So then I'll add a little bit of contrast back to it. But yeah, I mean, I kind of stay in there, transform, unless I'm shooting some like a building or some lines, I try to straighten everything out. Uh, I think on one of my Yosemite waterfall pictures, I the the trees were kind of like bowing in, so I wanted those to look straight. So I think I used the vertical on that to just kind of clean it up. Sometimes I'll do a vignette here. I'm a firm believer in just controlling my vignette, so I usually do that through the local masks. And then sharpening, that's all kind of just basic, run of the mill stuff that kind of do along all my edits. But yeah, I kind of touch them all a little bit. Just really just kind of it's as photo per photo basis, I would say, for what I'm trying to achieve. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd say. If, hopefully that answers your question. Um, yeah, fire away though, man. That's the more the merrier. And some of these greens down here, I'm gonna try to darken these down a little bit. Oh, it actually really ain't doing much down there. Maybe turn that blue down just a little bit. Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for hanging out. I don't. Is it Alyssa? Uh, Alicia? Alyssa? I've always like the last few days. I feel like I've seen your name. I feel like it's always just been Alyssa in my head, but now that I'm actually reading it, I don't know. If I'm mispronouncing, I feel like I'm probably mispronouncing that now that I'm looking at it. Alicia. Okay, easy, easy enough. I like it. I like the spelling of it. Um, yeah, I'd say, man, I'm like, I feel like this doesn't need a ton. Like, I'm gonna kind of, I'll probably do a lot of, I don't know how many people have watched some of my videos. I'll probably bring this one to life in the local masks. Sometimes I just go down here and I literally just like move these things just to kind of see what I like. I know some people like pump their blue channel up on the calibration, and sometimes it looks good just depending on uh, what colors you kind of got going on in your photo. So I say, like, when I first started out, I thought there was like a secret sauce to editing photos, but there really isn't, man. A lot of people sell their presets and stuff, and I won't crap on those by any means, because sometimes they are good starters, or they kind of if you really love a photo and you're trying to um, you know figure out a good way that it might look or something, they definitely kind of help get you going along that route, and they just post to speed up your flow a little bit. But I think a lot of people think they're just like one click and you're kind of done, and or I think that's how a lot of people look at them. um yeah, it's kind of getting cool, it's getting a little warm. Just gonna kind of and this is something I do a lot, like, just so that I don't push it too far, because once you stared at a picture for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, you kind of accept the new norm of like what your editing is like. And I don't know, it's just something I've always kind of tried to be conscious of, and something I kind of learned from um, an old photography friend of mine many years ago. um, Kind of looking, I don't know if y'all can see this weird banding happening over here, but um, just trying to see if I can figure out what channel that's in. Yeah, it's kind of in the purple channel. There, that was the channel that was in. It was in my magenta. That's a little cleaner. Nice little transition. I don't know. I just loved that the orange, the pink, the purple, and the blue little. Uh, it's almost like a Roy G. Biv gradient of some sort. I just love that. That was kind of just off in that third, and obviously the show here is Bridal Veil Falls, and I'll kind of go in here and selectively adjust that to the way that I want. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, even still to this day, like, I still watch YouTube videos. Just there's people that I think that are way better than me. That I'm always looking at their photography, and um, watching their process, and just trying to see. I feel like I know a lot of ins and outs of the programs that I use, but there's new tools, there's new ways to do things. Something I feel like I probably recently learned was the subtract portion of the local masks. I think that's probably one of the best features they've done to auto, you know, do some of these things, or to be able to use a gradient to subtract from a mask. Like, I do that a lot just to kind of get to skies and stuff to blend into. I typically shoot a lot of mountains and landscapes and stuff, so there's usually some sort of horizon. But um, yeah, dog. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hopping on. Glad everything's working out. Appreciate the idea. Hopefully more of these to come in the future. Hey, I work quick, dude. I told you I go down the rabbit hole. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna probably start by just adjusting this. Just by getting in here and adjusting the waterfall, just brighten it up. It's sitting a little too dark for me. Um, I kind of forgot I was on. I think I went live on YouTube, but I don't remember. Weird. Yeah, still shows streaming. Um, yeah, sorry. This is all new to me, so I apologize. Um, yeah. All right. So yeah, I'll just hop in here. I'll probably just use. I mean, sometimes I'll go in here and I'll use a. You could use like a luminance range, just to kind of like snag that little. Let's see. Yeah, it's not doing like a great job. It's way too much. I'll probably just go in with like a freaking brush and um, just kind of like lightly, yeah, flow. I'll probably knock that down a little bit. Just brighten it up. Um, Appreciate you, Eagle Masters. I'll have to. It's so weird. So I'm like obviously live streaming from my desktop, but like I can't see. I have like a little app that shows the chat, but I can't see. I can't see anything else besides that. So it's a little strange to me. I wish I could give you a follow though, homie. I don't know if I can. Let's see here. I don't know if it lets me do that or not. I don't know. We're in there though. I'll be sure to give you a follow if I don't. I feel like I don't remember like your name, man. But yeah, I'll definitely appreciate the love, appreciate the shares. Thanks, chasing the milk. Yeah, thank you. Was I got a little listen to some music right now. I don't know if that's showing up on the the audio or not, but I like to. I'm a big time music person, so um, I like to be in the zone when I'm editing. I don't know. They all kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, let's see what we're cooking up with there. Yeah, it's just a little brighter. Got a little sloppy down there at the end. Kind of bring some of that back. Listening to some Fred again tonight. Um, yeah, if you guys are popping in here, just drop questions in here. I love sharing the knowledge because I was once, um, you know, I was once a rookie or a beginner. And that's I firmly believe in what you get out, what you put out in the world is what you get back, and um, you know, I love sharing my knowledge. This is my first time, man. My buddy, the guy Williams, that was in here in the chat. New friend of mine that works with my wife, and he gave me this idea. We were hanging out Saturday at a party for their company, and he gave me this idea and was just like, "You should go live and do a live edit." And I was like, "That's actually a pretty awesome idea." So I I have 5 years ago I DJ'd for a while, and um, I had gotten into live streaming during COVID and just DJing. We had lost all of our gigs during COVID, obviously, and that was our kind of our way to still scratch that itch and play music. So it was an easy lift. Just had to get approved by TikTok um, to go live from the desktop for some reason. That was a weird thing, but whatever. I'll play by the rules. I'm gonna try to darken this little side. And that's one thing I don't know, I really haven't talked about that in a lot of my videos, but um, I love to have just like either a light to dark from one side or the other, or like kind of in the middle, or I'll create like a light from top down. Like I think that just always looks flattering if you're like in a forest or something. But sometimes like I'll just try to accentuate a little bit. Like obviously I have the sun over here on the left that's screaming for sunrise, so I would just try to pull this back a little bit to just kind of push your eye back to the waterfall and then kind of over to those colors. Um, the purple app. Oh, I've never even heard of that, man. Yeah, I mean that's I don't know. I got into TikTok back end of June, like my short time on here, so uh, decided to just kind of make my edits live, and obviously I love talking to people, and um, oh yeah. I actually have it. I have it streaming right now to Twitch. There's one person over there, so I don't fully expect much to come from that. But don't hurt to turn it on and see if anybody joins in over there. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to brighten up this little area, this little sliver of light here. I'm gonna use a radial mask and kind of get it in there a little bit. Just try to brighten up those treetops. brighten them up, Bob Ross style. Just get some happy trees. Love that guy, man. R.I.P. to that guy. Try to pump those up a little bit, and you might not. I mean, when I work this, when you work at a slower pace, and you don't really see the edits happening. So I'll try to like do them before and after, but that's why I kind of like the speed lapse because you quickly see what the changes that are happening, and um, yeah, same TikTok doesn't like the other apps being mentioned. Oh, good to know. Um, good to know, man. Uh, yeah, yeah, Rhino Smith photo over there. Yeah, it's just kind of the brand that I've taken on over the years. I've realized that um, Ryan Smith is a very vague name. I don't know. Is my stream frozen? Definitely a beautiful soul. Ah, there we go. I thought it looked like it was frozen on restream. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Um, yeah. My homie guy was messaging me, so I was thanking him. He was letting me know it was a good first one. Um, yeah, let me hop back over here. My music is playing loud. Sorry. Yeah. Definitely a beautiful soul. Ah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Try to pop up these. Those whites ain't really going the way that I want them to. Eh, might just kind of land in here somewhere. See a few people join. Hey, if you got Photoshop questions, Lightroom questions, uh, shoot them away. I'm an open book when it comes to that stuff. Feel free to share the feed if you want with your people. Drop a question in there. Yeah, I'm just editing Lightroom right now from a trip to Yosemite that I took at the end of June. Um, this was just kind of one of my favorites that I've kind of come across that I really liked. I'm gonna come back down here and adjust the magentas a little bit. The front rock here is kind of getting a little warm. That's kind of where we're at so far. Definitely definitely resurrecting this one a little bit, but yeah, get back into some of the local masks here. Obviously shooting sunrise, you kind of lose it. I feel like it always just has like a haze to it, and I've kind of embraced that on some of my shots before, but I kind of look at these rocks, and these rocks got a ton of texture, so I probably try to um, pull some of that texture out, maybe with some clarity or some texture. Um, Kind of come over here. You can kind of see it kind of adds a little bit. It brings up the whites a little bit. Um, let's see what we're rocking with there. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see the fine details on here. That was the only thing I didn't. I was kind of like hesitant about the TikTok live stream. It was like I know you know you won't be able to see the full details. But yeah, I don't know, I thought it'd be cool. Obviously, ask me questions. Like I feel like with the whatever the last like two or three major updates, when they took a big turn, um, yeah, that denoise, and even the super resolution, crazy. I was using that for a while, but then I got into using Gigapixel, which I forget what company that is. Um, Topaz. I use that for like my large prints that I do. Anything that's over like a 24 by 36 or usually 20 by 30. Like I usually just bump the resolution up, but it uses AI technology, and it's one of the best I've seen. I mean, they're obviously like the pioneers, I think, when it comes to the upscaling technology. But it's I love the thing, man. But um, But yeah, so yeah, um, so yeah, I feel pretty good about that little thing there. Maybe brighten up just a little bit. You might pull the dehaze down just to kind of get some of that, tonality and contrast um, in there. It's looking pretty good. Be curious to see what y'all think. I mean, I you could be the worst critic, man. I don't care. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's what we do is all subjective, and you know, some of the things we do are gonna hit home for people, and sometimes it doesn't work for them, and that's the fun part about it. Tried DxO, but I haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, I've seen that one. Is that the same company that I know I've seen that? What was DxO Photo Lab? I've seen that somewhere. I feel like I get like targeted ads and stuff. Is that the one that does? Yeah, I think it's like heavy on the AI as well. It does like actual like photo like enhancement stuff. And it's got like local adjustments. Uh, yeah, it looks pretty clean. I feel like I may have like downloaded this whenever it first came out to trial them all, and then I don't know, for the longest time, like I was never sold on, uh, any of the softwares um, outside of Photoshop, or outside of Adobe, uh, but yeah, um, but I feel like within the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, all the all the technology has kind of leveled out, and um, there's some good tools out there. I think. I mean, I was never, at the end of the day, like I hold my photography to a a high level, and I'm very particular, and I'm a perfectionist at the end of the day when it comes to that stuff, and uh, I just never felt like they were up to snuff, up until like the last couple of years, I'd say. But yeah, I mean that's kind of, I mean, I feel good about this. Like I would maybe go into Photoshop and probably take out this big old tree here, and try to get rid of that. But there's a little bit of the valley down there. I would honestly though, like I would probably let this rip and put it into my Etsy store, make the mock-ups, and add a listing in there. But yeah, that's kind of it. Shit, I could probably go through another one for my trip. I don't. That's the thing. Life has been real busy lately, and um, haven't had a haven't had a ton of time to go through all my photos. A few of these I've done. This was just like kind of on the walk that I really liked it in a panoramic shot. I think it'd be pretty cool to blow that up and have it like a nice panoramic. But yeah. Oh, Eagle Master Arts is over on Twitch, dog. Oh, I appreciate that, dude. Heck yeah. What's up, dude? Yeah, let me hit you there real quick. God, it's so much easier doing this versus trying to do it on the phone. But yeah, yeah, I gotta figure out how to. I gotta get a better setup here. mm, sweet, 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 sweet. God, there's so many. I got so many tabs open. Goodness. All right, let me hop back over to Lightroom. So yeah, just kind of running through these. Um, this is I was saying earlier. I love this little like I don't know what it was, like a fern leaf or something. I don't know. It was just perfect. There was like a little bug on there. Um, yeah, I thought there was something kind of cool about. I like minimalist a lot. Minimalist photography. Sometimes, getting into stuff like this. Uh, yeah, this was like Mono Lake. It's about an hour, 2 hours from Yosemite. You got to take Tioga Pass up there. There's just cool, just rock formations and stuff over there, and um, but yeah, there was this kind of storm that was rolling in that was kind of just creating all these cool clouds and just a lot of cool textures. Let's see. Yeah, I cooked this one up the other day. Um, really loved this one. This was one that just kind of, I didn't really need to enhance it a ton. Um, just kind of bringing out some of the things. This was a shot that I was pretty geeked on here. This was from like the Valley, Yosemite Valley. Sorry, my footage is. Bunch of cool textures down there. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. I'd love to help if you share. I'll try to do these. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do these maybe once or twice a week. Something I just kind of love doing. I'm, a photographer by day, and it's sometimes hard to get energized to come home and hop back on a computer and uh, edit more photos. But luckily, the two fields are completely different, and they don't really overlap. So it's kind of my outlet for creativity and running my Etsy shop. It's you know another another part of the piece of the puzzle, I should say. Um, yeah, these are just some like quick little. I guess I made a copy of that one. Let me see what. Yeah, this one was. Why the heck is it doing that? Yeah, this one was just like a subtle enhancement one. Like kind of was saying earlier, like these settings, like I kind of when I shoot a nice histogram that's even. These are kind of the general settings usually. Mammoth. Um, I'm not sure which Mammoth Lakes. Is that what you were saying? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. But no, that lake from earlier was Mono Lake, which is right. I forget where it's technically at. I think Mammoth Lakes is south from Mono Lake. Um, Not super familiar with that area. That was the first time I'd actually been over to that area. I kind of wanted to go down to Alabama Hills and hang out down there and um, explore that area, but we were kind of pressed for time and didn't really venture down that far. But let's see here. I gotta get like a double monitor set up to keep up with all this because there's I got way too many windows open for sure. Sorry guys. Yeah, drop some questions. Yeah, Mammoth Lakes. Yeah, I don't know. I had somebody that bought a print from me asking me a couple of years ago about Mammoth Lakes, and I looked it up and absolutely gorgeous area, by the way. Just one of those things. Like I try to, I try to, I obviously we all have bucket lists, and this trip, like I just kind of wanted to go back to Yosemite and uh, you know, be there by myself. And last minute, my dad had said he wanted to go along and tag along, and I was kind of hesitant at first, but the more I thought about it, I was just like, man, I've never showed him like what I love to do, and uh, I thought it was a great opportunity for him and I to, you know, catch up, man. And he had just recently retired, and um, perfect opportunity though. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking through. Oh dang! Oh, I thought it was much farther than that. Yeah, I mean, I was there. Uh, yeah, we were there, and we went to Woe Nelly Deli, which is right there, kind of where that road tees off at. I did not pay attention to that road. Yeah, it was all these little. I was there during the day, so I wasn't super geeked about some of the stuff. Yeah, from the few photos that I saw quickly, I could probably just go ahead and look that up real quick. Mammoth Lakes. Oh dang! Yeah, just that first photo looks really cool. It kind of looks like Telluride almost, without the lake part. Like their little downtown area looks really cool. I got some good hiking. Oh man, yeah, that's man. I'm not gonna lie. Yellowstone was a big letdown for me. I know it's one of the biggest parks and one of the most travel or most visited, I should say. Um, so I think going into that, like I'd kind of had high hopes for the park, I guess. I had, or I guess I should say high expectations. Um, I was, so I just kind of like, I don't know. It was awesome. I mean, it was definitely cool. I just thought it was gonna be like, I would pick Yosemite in a heartbeat over that area. I would probably pick, 7 or 8 different parks before I'd probably pick Yellowstone. The animal and wildlife aspect of it was definitely one of the selling points for me. Um, I don't know, the hot springs were just kind of meh. It's way more mountainous than what I expected. It definitely has like canyons and stuff. Um, like we went to Lower Yosemite Fall or Yellowstone Falls, and I mean that area was definitely cool. And then those are like the big vast areas that I kind of look for I'm uh when I'm traveling and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like it's so hard to get good pictures. I think from Yellowstone. I think that was probably one of the turnoffs for me as well. The Grand Prismatic Springs was it was cool, but the photos kind of, I would say, do it justice. Um, yeah, Sequoia. Yeah, I was kind of going through. So we spent a day down there hiking around, and we did Congress Trail and saw the trees. This was like kind of when you first got into the park and stuff. I won't bore y'all with all this stuff, but I will say I'd been to Sequoia twice, and I'd never done this trail, and I I mean I actually wish this was the main trail throughout that little area where you're at in Sequoia, because I don't know, you can walk right up to these things and just walk among them. The little area where General Sherman's at, I think it's General Sherman. Um, I don't know, it's so congested. I mean, when I was there in June, so it was like summertime. There was just a lot of people there, super crowded. Um, but yeah, General Sherman. I just thought this little trail. I mean, I think it was 2 miles. It wasn't much, maybe a little less, a little over. I don't remember. Super paved and easy to walk through. Uh, and like that's kind of all I thought Sequoia was. And then I do a lot of research before I kind of go to these places, and I'd found this area called Morro Rock, and it's not the worst hike. It's just stairs. I forget how many stairs it is. How many stairs? Morro Rock. 350 steps. Um, it just, it gets a little tiring after a while, but it's pretty much straight uphill. But the views up there were just insane, absolutely insane. You kind of look over, you get up to the top, and you look left, and this is kind of like the main mountain range that's up there. Mount Whitney's like, I think it was somewhere like in this little area, but you can't see it. Which Mount Whitney's I think the tallest mountain in the lower 48. Um, but yeah, so like I was up there, and I just kind of I did some manual panoramic stitching here. So I just kind of run around, take a few photos, stitched it together, and it's kind of what we came out with. Um, yeah, that's what I say. I was there during the day, so uh, most of the time, if I'm there during the day, I I very rarely like would use one of these images. Like most of the time, I'll crank it black and white just um, to kind of just focus in on what the mood was, or if I had some cool clouds, or obviously here it's like the mountain range. Um, I kind of, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of like broad daylight sunlight. It's a little unflattering, and yeah. So that's kind of my workaround for when I'm hiking in broad daylight. We were staying in this area called Bass Lake, which is kind of like the middle point for us for Yosemite and Sequoia and Kings Canyon. So we spent a few days in Yosemite. I think we did two days in Yosemite. The first day was around Bass Lake. We just kind of hung out there. One day at the Kings Canyon, and then the last day we drove over to Monterey and Big Sur and drove around over there and had some fun. And my dad's a big golf guy, so surprised him with lunch at Pebble Beach, and that was fun, man. It was a great trip. So, but yeah, we had an Airbnb in the Bass Lake area. And we just drove. I mean, it's a hike, so I think it was like 3 hour drive or 2.5 hour drive from Bass Lake to Sequoia. But we just, summer days, so long days. So yeah, 2.5 hours there. I think we got up at 4 or 5 a.m. We missed sunrise, um, but spent the day just hiking around, doing a few trails, and then we did the first one. We did Kings Canyon, and then I think it's like an hour from there to Sequoia, and did that, and then we headed home. We watched sunset on the way home, and it was a blast. And then the next day we did Sentinel Dome. Yeah, that was the upper half, which I had not been to in Yosemite. Um, so yeah, that was our second day in Yosemite, and we went up there, did that, and then did Taft Point, and that was two cool hikes, man. Super, super cool. There's my dad. My dad hanging out up there. His half dome in the background. But yeah, I got this cool little photo of him while we were hiking. I'll probably cook that one up at some point and give it to him for Christmas or something. Um, but yeah, I feel like I'm just rambling at this point now, guys. But yeah, I'll try to. It's my first one. Appreciate y'all hopping on here and hanging out for the evening. Um, I'll get better with these as time goes on. Try to have a little bit of agenda, but obviously love just you know talking to you guys, answering your questions. Um, 'Cause yeah, at the end of the day, I love trying to inspire people and just getting people to get out there and see this world, man. It's because at one point I did not know anything existed past the Mississippi River. Um, I was always shocked at once I in 2016 when I went out to see the Southwest, I was just like just blown away. I spent 2 weeks out there just traveling, and then definitely changed my mind. Um, Thanks, man. Appreciate that, dude. I wish I could. I wish I could follow people from the desktop version. I'll send me a DM or something, or if you just recently followed me, I'll try to find you on there. Yeah, it's like the desktop version of TikTok Live is very limited. All I can see is the chat and how many people are viewing, like total views. So it's really limited. But yeah, I'll try to do this. I probably won't do this the rest of the week as I'll be heading out of town Friday. But yeah, I'll probably try to create a set schedule at some point and you know try to do this more often. I think it's fun. I think it's uh I think it's I don't know. I love it. I love that's what I say. I'm a firm believer in you get what you put out in this world. So I'll leave you all on that note. I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. Hopefully made some new internet friends and